Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled, Can I Kasher My Pots and Pans from Meat to Dairy? So the fact is, from the Shulchan Aruch, and the Rishon and the earlier authorities of Gemara, the answer is yes. It's clear in the Shulchan Aruch in several places. In Echot Hagalat Kelim in Yerodeya, no mention in Kuf Chaf Aleph of a problem. In Echot Yontif, it talks about even kashering a kli on yantif in certain ways, from meat to dairy. In Hechot Hagala Kilim, in Hechot Pesach, it talks about kashering from meat to dairy. So there's no problem. But yet many people know I shouldn't kasher meat to dairy. There's a fear that maybe I'm going to kasher meat to dairy, and then I'm going to one day use the pot for meat, one dairy, one day I'm going to mix up. I'm not going to know what I'm doing anymore. I thought this was meat. It was actually dairy. I just use it for dairy. Using it for meat. Let's just have separate. Also, you're going to kasher, and you think you're kashering after 24 hours. You're going to end up kashering within 24 hours, and that's a problem. Okay, so there's some minhag like that. People are aware of it. What's not from the Shulchan Aruch and the Rishonim, it's from the Magen Avraham. Magen Avraham a few hundred years ago mentioned this. And he brought in names certain shitas of Posen, and that's Minhag Ashkenaz. The Mishnah Brura brings it down several places, Daf Kuf Tet by Yontif, when it talked about kashering back and forth, and in Taf Nun Aleph, Hechaz Kalim on Pesach, he says the minhag is not to do it. The Shulchan in Yerodeya Kuf Chaf Aleph says, what's this about? Making new minhagim? Pri Chadash says that as well. Making new minhagim out of nowhere. It's not in the Gemara. It's not from the Rishonim, not in the Shulchan Aruch. And then a few hundred years ago, to start this new minhag that we don't kasher meat to dairy, and it's a sensible idea. I understand, but you don't start new minhagim. But the general minhag Ashkenaz is to be machmir. We don't kasher meat to dairy. There are several exceptions. One exception would be is when you're kashering for Pesach. So you're not kashering to change meat to dairy. You're kashering for Pesach. So once you're kashering for Pesach, if it was a meat set of silver, you're kashering for Pesach, you can decide what you want to do now. That's one leniency. Another leniency is Marsham. Let's say it was used for years, an old set of silverware. It was a meat set. It has been used for 12 months. After 12 months, there's some leniencies at times with porcelain. We don't really hold that way, but there's some leniencies, some hold by. So now already it's after 12 months. It's not some consistent thing every day changing back. You can be makel there. What if you got inherited it from someone, you bought from someone? Even they just used it 5 days ago. It wasn't sitting for 12 months. 5 days ago, they used it, but you just bought a set. That's also a one-time thing. Now, let's say you didn't know the minhag, and then you already did it. So, b'diavad, you're all right as well. So, there are leniencies, but in general, we are machmir to not kasher from meat to dairy, dairy to meat. If you want to kasher to parav and keep it parav, many say the minhag doesn't go that far. It's from meat to dairy, dairy to meat. We're afraid of the mix-up. You had a parav, and then it became dairy. You want to kasher back to parav. Many are lenient in such a case. So, in general, we see this amazing thing, the power of minhagim. Where the Achashochet rejected it, but the other poskim Ashkenazim, Kaf HaChaim says no, the Sfarim don't hold by the way, the Ashkenazim hold by the way. So the power of minhagim, that's what developed over the centuries, and most Ashkenazim, if not all Ashkenazim, do hold this way. We don't kasher back and forth, unless it's one of the exceptional cases that I mentioned. Shalom.